Hi everyone, and welcome to my brand new YouTube studio. From here I'm going to show you all kinds of things you can make for Christmas. And the first one out is this Snowman gift box. Now this is what you're going to need. A milk carton of any shape or size. A paper plate. Piece of paper. A rubber band and a couple of little bottle caps that you can nick from other cartons. Now come a bit closer and I'm going to show you how to do it. Now we'll start with the paper plate and put the milk carton on top, and then we trace off the shape. Then we cut it out. Now make absolute sure that you cut safely. Keep your fingers away from the knife and pull it very slowly. And even better, get an adult to help you. Don't do this by yourself, always get the help from an adult. There, now we see if it fits this way down. Now we decide the size of the hat. So you can decide whether you want a short hat like this or longer. This is a really big hat. Now so let's put it about there for now. A little bit of glue. And then the glue will then smoothen out the little crack between the carton and the plate. Then we glue on the caps. One is directly below this cap. One good thing is to take any little plate, put some glue on it, and then you can dip the cap in there. Perfect. It goes there. Later, this is where the opening of the gift box is, and this is what holds it together. I'll explain later. Now, sometimes it's a good idea to take a bit of tape and then to stick this down so that it holds it in place, so it won't drop down. Then, you need a nose, and that goes on that side. So that means you turn it and it goes there. Same thing again, you dip it, and it goes about there with a space for the eyes over it. So that's the nose. Bit of tape to fix it in place. You see, it's starting to drop already if I don't put tape on. Now the tape we will remove later. Now here I have one that is already dry. See? So now I can shift this out and continue on with the painting. We'll start with the white, quite a big brush. Paint the whole underside white. That is under the hat and around the nose, but not onto the plate. Not quite yet. Now the white paint usually needs 2 layers to cover, because the color on the milk carton is usually quite strong. So to make it really white you need 2 layers, or sometimes even 3, it depends. Just keep on painting until you're happy. And in between each layer it needs to dry. So if you have a hair dryer you can speed up the drying time. Now I move on to the hat. Paint the whole thing. The little details around the caps is you need to pay some attention, you see, to get the paint into all the little grooves. The black usually takes a couple of layers as well to be really solid. So the more patience you have when you do this, the better it's going to look. Also make sure you paint really well inside these little caves in here and on the edges. See, even this edge here, that'll make it look nicer. Usually I don't try to cover everything on the first layer. I cover as much as I can, and then I let it dry. The reason is that if everything is covered by paint, you will definitely get paint on your fingers, and you need to go and wash all the time. So, you know, in order not to create a big mess, you paint a bit and then you leave the rest until after it's dry. Same thing with these little grooves here. You sort of stroke them with the grooves, moving outwards like this towards the edge. Usually does the trick. Now the black also goes on the underside, but of course I would wait until the white is finished or and dried before you do that, so that you don't mix it all up and make a big mess. But basically the black also goes under here. Now let's pretend that the paint is dry so that we can paint the nose. Orange paint. Same thing here, you got to be a bit careful when you do the little grooves. The nose, definitely you got to paint twice. I'm using acrylic paints and they are water soluble. You don't use any thinners, you just use water. They last forever, they're really strong and bright, and any stains you wash away with water and soap. And they dry in about 15-20 minutes. Unless you use a hairdryer, of course. Now, I'm going to put this away and bring in the paper, because we are going to draw. So now, we are going to draw the eyes and the arms. Eyes are quite small. I'll make them a bit different. One has a big thick ring around it. That's just for fun. Then the arms. There. Then I color them up. And then cut them out with a scissors or a knife. Now, here I got a few that I cut out earlier. Then we fold a little, make a little fold here for the glue. Assuming the paint is dry, then, and you got 2 layers, then you stick on the bits. There. Yay! Now it comes alive. You see, as soon as you put on the eyes, whatever it is, wherever it is you're making, it will look alive. Then the arms. Yay! Now I grab a thinner brush, bit of black paint, and I'll do the smile. Yeah, nice. Look at that. Now the snowman is really alive. A couple of buttons. Pretend there's a jacket here. Buttons on the jacket. A little gray band. What is that thing called on the men's hats? I don't wear a hat, so I don't know what it's called. Well, let's call it a band across the hat. That'll look nice. This is of course assuming that the paint is dry. I'm working a bit fast now because, you know, I have to rush home to my mother for dinner. Now, one thing about the acrylic paint is that it's lighter when it's wet, and then it dries darker. So be aware that now this gray maybe look almost white or whitish, but it isn't. It will be totally gray once it's dry. That's something to be aware of when using acrylics. They dry darker than they look when they're wet. Just gonna check that everything is cool. Yabbity yap. Now, one last thing. And this is something you really need help for by an adult. And that is to cut the box open so that you can put the gift inside. And that is cutting from here around so that this comes in the front. So that's where it opens. Make sure you don't cut here. That's going to be very wrong. It's going to be here. The opening is where the two caps are. Very careful. There, straight across. Now, here's a secret to cutting. Cut several times. Don't try to make everything in one cut. You cut a little mark, then you cut again. Nice and careful. Cut again. And even 3 times. See now, around the corner, nice and controlled. A little cut again. Don't rush it. Ah, perfect. The other side. Hey, look at that. Hey, wee, wee. Okay, now it's time to swap to the finished dry one. See, they're, whoops, they're almost exactly the same. Well, they would have been the same if it was painted, you know, correctly. Anyway, so here it is. Oops, you go away. Here it is. Now let me clear the table from all this wet paint and glue, and time to get the gift out. Now look at this gift. A nice elephant shirt signed by myself. Hey, who wouldn't want to get one of those for Christmas? Anyway, so I will pack it up. I'm not so good with packing clothes, but anyway, I'll try. Like that. Then in it goes. You gotta lift up the rubber band. See, that is like the lock. See, that holds this thing together so it doesn't fall out. So in it goes. And hey, there's room for more. So how about this? Cute. It's a bunny shirt. Signed by, hey, yours truly. Okay, let's pretend this is a nice wrap. Then in it goes. Make sure you wash your hands before you do this, huh? Don't get any paint stains on your gifts. Like that. Lid on, lock on. And then of course you have to add your, you know, to mommy or whatever note, you know, somewhere, attach it to here or wherever you like. If you have small gifts, like let's take my old socks. Right, this is my old socks. I want to give them away, but the gift box is too big. You need a smaller one. So, hey, whoops, how about this one? Look at that. I used one of those, these cartons, you know, one of these things. Open the lid. The sockies goes inside, my old socks goes inside. I close, oops, I close it up. And on with the lock. There. Yeah. And the socks goes out and makes somebody happy somewhere. Okay, now it's your turn. Hey! Who wouldn't want these for Christmas? Now, thanks for watching. And if you want to see all my stuff, subscribe to my channel. Okay. Thanks for watching. See you next time.